What's going on, everybody? This is Joe, and I am back for more of my blind playthrough of the Dalaran Heist here on Hearthstone. Last time, we lost. We lost for our first time ever, but we did beat 5 bosses, and so this is why we are starting showing that we got a reward for losing. We earned 3 packs, Underbelly Overachiever, because we lost. We lost after beating 5 bosses, actually. We were on the 6th boss, so yeah, here we are. I'm going to go back into it and try again. I don't know what, if anything, I want to do differently. I kind of want to try the Druid again, as opposed to going to the Warrior, because that was our other choice. I feel like Druid still has...
many forms!
I feel like Druid still has possibilities, so... Yeah, see, I've defeated 5 bosses as the Druid. Play choose 1 cards. Interesting. I played a number of those. But anyway, so here is, or gain attack. We didn't gain enough attack, but regardless, again, I kind of want to see what I can do. I have a new 2 paths deck that I could start with, but I kind of want to just stick with what I had. Interesting. Yeah, I'm just going to straight run it back and see what we can do. Maybe the decisions I make in terms of treasures and stuff will be different.
Khadgar sent adventurers to stop us. They'll do anything for money, and we're the bad guys.
Nice. So we're going to face Alchemist Wendy. This alchemist mixes up decks, attempting to create golden cards. Interesting. And her hero power for 1 is swap a random card in each player's hand. So they're going to be taking, she is going to be taking some of our cards and giving us some of hers, which is either bad or good. I don't actually know. Well, let's see how we do in this second chance.
Squeamish versus Wendy.
Interested in trying something new? Squeamish always try new thing! Gimme, gimme!
So let's get rid of this. This is a pretty good combo with these 2 cards together. And there's our Feral Gibberer. Did really well for us last time, although clearly not well enough. Oh, and she has to do this every turn. I guess that somewhat makes sense.
This be our neck of the woods.
Let's see what she takes.
1 for you,
Ugh,
1 for me.
the Gibberer. She gets to restore 2 health to all friendly characters with this. Or we get to, I guess. I guess I'd rather play this. Attack. We just have to try to get this over with quickly before she takes all our good stuff. And
It's an equal
random
exchange.
things
1
like
for 1.
That. Yep. Oh my goodness. I guess that's fine. Does it say after it attacks a hero? Good. Okay. So I can do what I want to here, which is this. This. Okay. Very good.
That won't do. On second thought, let's swap back.
Side effects? No. Trust me.
Okay. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we can't win this turn, right? We don't have anything to charge, or otherwise I would use this. But this, get her down. That seems fine. That's not necessary yet, although we have mana for it.
Have another.
I don't need to attack the 2/2. So I don't care about it. And that's it.
Alchemy is perfectly safe.
Okay.
Most of the time.
Giving me the shield drop.
Jado berries, my favorite.
And we win. Very nice. Not bad at all. Oh, okay. Well, we could use this once, that's for sure. Okay. We win.
Mix.
Not so bad, not so bad. So here are our choices for treasures. None of these are the same as last time, so we do not have to worry about taking something, like literally running it back, which was not my plan in terms of treasures and stuff. So we have small backpacks, which we've seen in previous solo adventures. We have, at the start of the game, you draw 2 cards. We have Togwaggle's Dice. At the end of your turn, randomize the cost of all cards in your hand, which is both good and bad. It's obviously a randomness factor, because you could get something really expensive to cost cheap, or something cheap to cost really expensive. Or Robes of Gaudiness. Your cards cost half, but you can only play 2 cards each turn. So last time when we were a druid, we didn't have any cards more than 4 mana until much later, like after like the 4th or 5th boss. So these seem not so good. But the small backpacks has always been good, and even though it's something we've seen in the past and I like to try out new things, these just don't seem as good to me, so I'm going to take these small backpacks for this particular run. Okay, all bark, so presumably treants, recovery, and feral bite. With Feral Bite, we get Earthen Scales, which we already have a copy of. We used it last game. Spirit of the Raptor. Stealth for 1 turn. After your hero attacks and kills a minion, draw a card. And Ironwood Golem, a 3/6, which would be a 6/3, with Taunt, and can only attack if you have 3 or more armor. This, in my opinion, is one of the reasons why we lost the last game. And it was my fault. Or the last run. It was my fault, but I had forgotten the can only attack clause. So we had huge Ironwood Golems, huge, and we could have killed our opponent if they could have attacked, but they had fought through our armor and we had no way of making more, so because of that we lost, and I had forgotten about that. So it is entirely my fault, but it's because of this card, so I'm a little sour on it, to be honest. For recovery, we have an Earthen Ring Farseer. We can Battlecry restore 3 health. We have Rush Battlecry. If you've restored 5 health this game, summon a copy of this, so we get 2 4/4s, and we do have 2 of them. I don't love this. Living Mana. Transform your mana crystals into 2/2 treants. Recover the mana when they die. And choose one. Give your other minions +1/+1, or summon 2 2/2 treants. And it's a 3/4 for 6, which means we'll be at 4/3. I don't love any of these options, to be honest with you. I think this is the best, and even this I don't love. And not just because of the Ironwood Golem, I'm not being salty. I'm not a fan of the Spirit of the Raptor. I feel like it puts us too at risk early in the game to have to try to kill enemy minions. And we don't have a ton of ways of gaining extra attack, so we would only have 1 attack per turn. Earthen Scales obviously is fine, but I don't think it's worth taking these 2 cards for it. These I don't love, because we don't really have a ton of ways of gaining extra life yet, and I don't necessarily want to go with that strategy because it's not typically good. So all bark seems to be the best way to go so far, and these are just not great cards for that, but I will take them. We shall see how it goes. The Great Akazam Zarek? Akazem Zarek. Sure, let's go with that. It's not real magic. He's got cards tucked into his sleeve. Okay. Interesting.
Squeamish versus the Great Akazamzarak.
Akazamzarak. Okay, that was close. That wasn't really close.
Me Squeamish, druid of the
We got both of these.
Step right up.
We'll get rid of all 3. Try to get stuff that's cheaper to start. 4, 3, and 1. Alright, not bad. Not bad at all. Oh, I didn't even look at his hero power. Sorry, everyone. We'll look at it right now. It's a blind run, but sometimes you forget things. We get another one of these. Okay. For 1, Prestidigitation, add a random magical feat to your hand. I don't know what that means, but maybe we'll find out. Hopefully we won't, but maybe we will. This is fine.
I want to cast a spell.
Okay. Well, I get to prove myself wrong right off the bat and use this. You know what I'm saying? There's probably not a lot, like, not going to happen to that. Yeah, that's fine. These guys. Deal 1 damage to a random enemy minion after you cast a spell, so I'm going to be killing that guy too.
This
just
the
do
our neck of the woods.
this. He hasn't started adding with prestidigitation yet, but I feel like he will soon, so.
Have you ever seen something so amazing?
Look at that.
I think not. An all-new feat just for you, my lovely audience.
Okay. A lot of cards in our hand. That is for sure. Let's play this Astral.
Nuts to you!
Knowledge is power, and I know a lot.
I like that guy. He's funny. 5, 6, 7. So I need to do 4 more damage somewhere along the line to win. Although this would be 3 more damage. And this would be the 4th, or our hero power would be the 4th. So, sure. We win.
Nuts to you!
Thank you. Alright, perfect.
My final act.
Yep. Interesting. I didn't even see any of his magical whatever. How do you do's? Okay, so we have choices, swarm or big friends. Big friends, jungle giants summon 5 minions with 5 or more attack, and we get Barnabas for it, but to be fair, we only have... Do we have any? Currently? Oh, we have 1 Astral Tiger, and that is it. Tortolin wouldn't even necessarily work, because it's a minion with 5 or more attack, but it's swapped. So when we play it, it could be smaller. In fact, this is smaller. I don't know that it counts that. This sucks. This is a really bad... We've been not getting good choices. Swarm, another Acorn Bearer. It worked out well for us in the first go-round. I don't know how it will work for us this time around, but Echoing Ooze is a fine card. If we can buff it up, it's even better. And we do have at least Earthen Scales. And they would be 2/1s at minimum. And the Forest's Aid summon 5 2/2 Treants, and it's a twin spell, so we can cast it twice over the course of the game. Then we have choices. So Keeper Steladris, after you cast a choose 1, add copies of both choices to your hand. It does have to be a spell though, so this creature, for example, it would not work. But you transform this into a 4/2 with Rush or a 2/4 with Taunt, which again, it would actually be a 2/4 with Rush or a 4/2 with Taunt, so it is real backwards. And Wisps of the Old Gods, choose 1, so this one would count with Keeper Steladris. Summon 7 1/1s or give your minions +2/+2. And then once we do that, we would, if we had Keeper Steladris out, we would get copies of both of those cards. We would have 7 mana, summon 7 1/1 Wisps, and 7 mana, give your minions +2/+2. But I think that the Swarm is this is garbage. I think Swarm is the best one here for us, to be honest. Okay. Hesutu Stonewind. This shaman has a way of whipping his minions into a frenzy. I'll remember to actually look at his hero power this time. Earth Mother's Rage for 2 mana. Give a friendly minion Wind Fury. That could be very powerful. Very, very powerful.
Squeamish versus Hesutu.
Me squeamish, druid of the rat.
You do not belong here.
That is a sick voice. Holy crap, I love it. And we get both of these in the same hand. That seems great. So turn 1, turn 2, turn 3. Works for me. We do draw 2 more cards, so maybe whatever. Still. Okay. This one. Okay. Works for me. Okay, sure, I'll make this my turn too.
Beetle berries, my favorite.
Ooh. 8 mana, 5/8? Gain the death rattle effects of 3 friendly minions that die in this game. Well, oh, okay, well, sure. Oh my god. Sure. But now he will not be able to play anything next turn. So we're going to do this and this. Now we have 2 1/2s. It's not terrible. Not terrible at all. Okay. 1, 2, 3.
This isn't Moonblade.
4. Alright.
You belong to the bog now.
Okay. Can I do 3 more damage? Of course I can. I will. Good. That was easy. I'm really not seeing these guys, which is a good and a bad thing. Like, if we come up against them later and we actually need to know what's going on, we're going to have some trouble. And I mean later in this run, I mean later in like chapter 5 or something.
One of these treasures is Hagatha's. You can tell by the smell.
Okay. It's probably this, right? Okay. Elder Tagawag, so it's like Togwaggle but older. Battle Cry, deal 4 damage to all enemy minions, and Death Rattle, shuffle this into your deck. It's not bad. Swamp Queen's Call, 2 mana, transform your minions into random legendary minions, repeatable this turn. And 9, Dream Grove Ring, discover a legendary minion, summon 5 copies of it. So we would get to choose between 3, but that has to mean that one of the 3 of them is good enough that we want 5 copies of it, which would cover 5/7 of our board. So I don't love that. Plus it's 9 mana. Which isn't super easy to get to, even though we do have this 8 mana card here. And because I don't think we had 2 of these or 1 of these, and we didn't get to play it either once before. I kind of like Tagawag, to be honest. It shuffles into our deck when it dies, and it's a 4/4, so we can be super aggressive with it. Plus, it deals 4 damage to our entire enemy board. Because this is all random, right? This is random, this is somewhat random, although you can choose between the 3. So I think I'm going to go with Tagawag here. Alright, Legends, Big Friends, and Roar. My goodness. So again, Jungle Giants, but again, Tortolan, Forager, and Gruul. So this one would actually work. This one would count towards the Jungle Giants, but it's the only one so far out of literally everything we have. Tyrantus, 12/12, for 10, Kel'Thuzad, 6/8 for 8, that at the end of each turn summon all friendly minions that die this game. And again, Kel'Thuzad would actually be an 8/6, so he would be easier to kill. And a Flabadinius Floop. It's a 3/4, which means it would be a 4/3. While in your hand, this is a 3/4 copy of the last minion you played. Which seems intriguing, but these are very expensive. This is bad. And for Roar, we have all 5 mana things. We have a Menagerie Magician, 4/4 for 5, Battle Cry, give a random friendly beast, dragon, and Murloc, +2/+2. That would almost certainly not help us at all. What do we have? I guess the squirrels would probably be beasts, I think. We have a beast right here in the Plated Beetle. We have a beast in the Addled Grizzly. So we definitely have beasts. But that's about it. And the Witchwood Grizzlies are beasts as well. Taunt, it would be, but I was afraid, I don't know how this card works. Battle Cry, lose 1 health for each card in your opponent's hand. So what I mean when I say I don't know how it works is, if the attack and health are swapped, does that mean that this starts at 3 health and then loses 1 health for each card in our opponent's hand? I believe so. So this would start as a 12/3, but if our opponent has 3 or more cards in their hand, which they are almost certainly going to have, this card is useless because we play it for 5 mana and it immediately dies. So I think the only option for us is Legends here, which kind of sucks, but kind of doesn't. I'm curious to see how Flabadinius Floop works for us. I may have said his name incorrectly.
There's some shady characters down here. Some of my best friends.
The tavern has done well for me very often, so I'm hoping that this will help us out, because I'm not feeling super good about our choices here that we've had previously, to be is what I'm saying.
You are a diamond in the rough, Squeamish. Always a pleasure.
That's adorable. Okay, discover a legendary minion, add it to your adventure deck. That's not terrible. Add all enemy minions to your adventure deck. They gain +1/+1 for this run, so we'll look at those in a second. Choose a friendly minion, remove it from your adventure deck. I like Elder Tagawag. I love Acorn Bearer.
Master Rat do?
I like Plated Beetle, and We haven't gotten to use this yet, but if we got rid of it, what would be the use? At least it could buff our minions or get us treants. So I don't think this is useful. Look at 4 spells from our deck, reduce the cost of 1 by 3 for this whole run, which is good. That worked out for us well last time. 0, Kindle. Look at 4 spells from your adventure deck, choose 1 to remove. I don't love that either. And again, the discover a legendary minion. So we only have 2 gold pieces to use. Let's see what the enemies are to see if we want to use this.
What would Master Rat do?
Discover a druid, rogue, or shaman card, and it would be a 3/5, which is for 5 mana. It's kind of whatever. We already have an astral tiger. A second one would not be the worst thing in the world. Nat the Dark Fisher. At the start of your opponent's turn, they have a 50% chance to draw an extra card, but it would be a 4/2. Don't love it, but that would be fine, I guess. If your deck has no 2-cost cards, give all minions in your deck +1/+1. We definitely have 2-cost cards. There's one right there. And sure, we could dismiss him, but there's other 2-costers. So I don't love this. That would not be
We get all types
effective.
around here.
So let's do upper hand and recruit a veteran, and then I don't see Kindle being useful, so it would just be these 2. Let's try this one first.
Oh, you can't go wrong with that one. They're irregular.
Okay, so we have 6, 7, and 8. We have whenever you play a card, summon a 2/1 Flame of Azzinoth. This would be a 5/7, and I believe the Flame of Azzinoths would be 1/2s. So that's something. This would be a 9/4.
Beat you.
After your hero attacks and kills a minion, it may attack again. Not incredible. I just don't typically attack with my hero often, but it happens sometimes, as I've said. And Sneed's Old Shredder. I like this the best. It's also the most expensive, which sucks, because we already have a 10 and an 8 that we've gotten previously. So I think I'm just going to go with this one. I don't love it, like I said, but I'm going to do it. It would be a 7/5, and when it dies, we get another legendary, so that seems cool. And this, like I said, this worked out well for us last time, so let's hope that we get something good. Yep, I'm going to do it with the Blessing of the Ancients. Oh, ooh, I am very sorry. That is a blatant lie. I'm going to do it with the Forest's Aid. This would be 0 mana. Nope, it's 3 less. 3 less. It's just, I said 0 because we used it on the Blessing of the Ancients last time, and so it was 0. This would be 3 less. This would be 5, which would probably be quite useful for us at 5 as opposed to 8. Okay. I am done. Again, if I... Yeah, now it costs 5. That's fine. If I use this and end up with all things that I want to keep, I don't think I get to. So I think we're done here.
You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
Okay. All right, who is next?
Mean Mama Diggs has a way of unearthing trouble. That's a pun. Yeah, it is.
I liked it last time. I like it slightly less this time. A little repetitive, but still good. We faced Mama Diggs last time. Her hero ability for 1 mana is deal 2 damage to a friendly elemental. Find out what's inside. I do not know what that means because she did not use it the last time we played her. We either killed her too quickly or it didn't work out. I think we killed her minions quickly. So
versus Mama Diggs,
which I do not think we'll be doing this time, but we will find out.
Me Squeamish, Druid of the Rat.
You think you're gonna get past me?
We got rid of our 2/4s, which is somewhat dangerous. Yeah, somewhat dangerous. But that's fine. We got a 2 and another 2. All right, and we draw 2 more cards. Wow. Wow. Okay. Well, we can at least do this. Yeah, perfect. Ooh, we drew our 5 mana.
What shall we hunt?
Okay. Yep, we can kill it. So if we go like this, this again. This, this. 2 3/2s and a 2/1. Good. Okay. this, at least from our hand. Obviously, we could have used our hero power, but this.
Got one.
Good. 2 damage to kill one of our 3/2s. That is absolutely fine. 2/1 elemental. No problem. Sure. For 5, we could fill our board with 5/5 treants, or for this turn we could play the Acorn Bearer and use this to kill this 2/1. I think that's kind of what I want to do. Next turn we can do this. So maybe we do that, because we can next turn play this and make our treants bigger. So yeah, let's try that. So we might just be able to win next turn with this. That's fine. Deck. They can't kill anything else. And so 3, 6, 9, 12. Oh, let's see.
Another rock. Curse these elementals.
Oh, okay, so it's a small rock. It deals 1 damage. So we place this one still. 3, 6,
This
9,
be
12,
our
15.
neck of the woods.
So we win. Okay. We will do this.
The Earth Mother was busy.
That. Well, the spell from the tavern is paying dividends already, I guess. Very good. Alright, let's see what we got. More cards. We could get another Kel'Thuzad. Aviana, your minions cost 1. That seems good, but we would have already had to get to 10 mana for that, so it's not as good as it could be. And Emperor Thaurissan, again, at the end of your turn, reduce the cost of cards in your hand by 1. This one's better, because we have to get to only 6 to be able to use him, but still, we do have 8, 8, and 10 after that. And again, if we pick this, we would have 3 8s and 2 10s. Choices. Speaking of 10s, we're going to get a 10 no matter what we pick here. War Druid Loti is a transform into one of Loti's 4 dinosaur forms. So there are a couple of different options. Basically, there's the 2/4 with Rush, and I'm translating based on the power swap, or the 6/1 with Taunt, which is always interesting. Ancient of War, +5 attack or +5 health and Taunt, and again, I don't know whether that works before or after the swap. So if you pick +5 health and Taunt, do you become a 10/5 with Taunt? Or if you pick +5 attack, do you become a 5/10 without Taunt? Weird. And Kun the Forgotten King is a 7/7 for 10, where you can either gain 10 armor or refresh your mana crystals. So you could like play it and then have 10 more mana to play something else. And then 2 Starfires, deal 5 damage, draw a card for 6, and the ultimate manifestation, deal 5, draw 5, gain 5 armor, and summon a 5/5 ghoul. This seems interesting to me, but I think I'm going to go with Nature's Wrath. It's so expensive. Like, things are just so expensive. Last run was very different from this one. It's a toss-up between these two. I really don't want another 8 and 10 and a 6. Although this is 2 6s and a 10, so maybe I just go with this. I think I do. This is going to be very confusing to me, but I'm going to try it. At least the War Druid Loti is on the thread. Tala Stone Rage. Druids walk many paths, Tala walks them all. I think what I'm going to do is, because we have jumped back into this, we made some tough choices and we've made a very interesting deck, and I don't know whether that's a good or a bad thing. For now, I think I'm going to end this video here. Tala is going to have to wait until next time, and so are you, and so am I. But I really hope you guys come back to see how I do on my second time through of Chapter 4 in this, my blind playthrough of the Dalaran Heist. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Did I misplay? Did I make incorrect choices? Did I make correct choices? Did I get lucky, unlucky? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. From the Geek for All family of channels, I have been Joe. Once again, thank you guys so much for watching. And as we always say, in whichever video of ours you watch next, we will see you all next time. Thanks, everybody.